Hello and good evening. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. It is Tuesday, August 4th, 7:01 p.m. on the East Coast. Hope everyone is having a good evening. As always, we like to give a few minutes to let people get in and say hello. So give us a shout out. Let us know you're here. I already see some comments. This is your usually scheduled edition of Just Ethan with me, Just Ethan. And this is our post-conference wrap-up. So I'm excited to hear all of your thoughts and your experiences on what you thought about the conference. Hey, Thomas. Hey, Yvonne. Good to see you guys. Great to see you in person, virtually, face-to-face, your faces. Stacy Conroy. Hello, my dear. Hope you're well. Hello from Brookline. Enjoyed the conference. Oh, I'm so glad. Lizzie. Hi, Lizzie. Nick Toth. Hey, Ethan. How are you, Nick? Hi, Deirdre. It was great to see you, too. Is it Tier or Tara or Tara? 701. Hi, Mike. Oh, we're so glad. I'm so glad to hear you thought the conference was awesome. That's awesome. Hey, Carlo, Sally in Minnesota. We'll start in just about 30 seconds. As always, I like to give people just a moment to get in and say hello. Hi, Ethan. Second time being able to log in to you. Thanks for speaking about this. You're so welcome, Natalie. Thank you for joining us. Hope everybody, I said it before, so I apologize if you were here right from the beginning, but I hope everyone had an awesome time at the conference. As always, in the real in-person conference, well, this was a real conference, but in the in-person conference, we always like to do we always have a wrap-up panel at the end just to talk about thoughts and feelings and how to deal with the conference slump. And so I thought this would be a good opportunity to do just that. So let me zoom in on myself a little bit because who doesn't want to be closer to me? Lots of people probably. And let's get started real quick. Thanks, Thomas. Hi, Nancy. I really enjoyed talking with you. So it was a lot of fun to see a lot of you face to face. Hi, Whitney. Hi, Sherry. IOCDF did an amazing job. I'm so glad to hear. Hi, Jill. The conference was great. Hi, Dave. All right, let's get rolling here. Seems like we have some peeps ready to talk. So my name is Ethan. Welcome to Just Ethan. This is the post-conference wrap-up for the IOCDCon 2020, our first ever online conference. My name is Ethan. I'm the National Ambassador for the International OCD Foundation. If you came to the conference, you're probably tired of me. I spoke a lot, so I apologized for the oversaturation of Ethan, but it genuinely comes from my heart. So let's get the housekeeping out of the way, and then we can get to some conversation. So this town hall is intended to serve as educational content. It is not intended to replace therapy. I'm not a therapist. For treatment-related questions, please be sure to work with your local provider or contact a local clinician. The International OCD Foundation is not a crisis hotline. It should not be used if you are in distress or feel unsafe. If you are in a crisis or ever feeling suicidal or unsafe, please go to your local emergency room, call 911, or go to the suicide prevention hotline at 800-273-8255. As always, we want to be respectful and kind of everyone in here. This is a public forum. It will be recorded and live on the interwebs for many, many years, but we always try to create as safe a space as possible for people to comment and share. So please, please, please be respectful and kind and supportive of everyone in the room. And with that, let me just shut down my email because it's getting confusing. And with that, hello, welcome, welcome. I can't wait to talk about this because this was such a unique experience, and I thought it went really amazing. So I'm excited to see what everyone has to say about the conference. I'm going to keep this pretty open. I don't know that I'm going to talk a whole lot at the opening because I really want to get into some conversation and get your thoughts. So my first suggestion to you is if you have comments, if you have questions, if you have suggestions about the conference, really feel like this is an open, safe space because we do this every year in person. This is no different. We can't grow. We can't grow our conferences in a way that is beneficial to all of you if we don't know what you're thinking and what you want to see more of and less of. And hopefully I can speak to a lot of that. So I look forward to having that conversation with you. I just want to talk a little bit about just the post-conference slump, which happens all the time. I know that I felt a little down yesterday, especially after 3 months of preparing for the online conference. I thought it was a really cool experience. There was so much content going on, and so many people engaged. And I love that so many new people were able to access the conference and access the sessions. It was really, really meaningful. And I can also talk. I'm seeing a lot of you know what? There's no rules here. Let's just get into comments and conversation, and then I can. And then if you have questions as well, obviously I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And I can also talk about support after the conference and things that we have planned for the near future as well. But let's get into some conversation. You guys are commenting a lot, so let me just go through and see what everyone is saying. So where did I leave off? I think I left off with there's Thomas. Hi, Dave, Stacy, Tina. Hi, Katie. It's the girlfriend. She's here. Hi, Edu. Good to see you. I mean, I'm doing great. I appreciate that. Hey, Jason Spielman, Anxiety and OCD Treatment Center of Florida. Hope you're well, Jason. Hey, Marty. Good to see you. Got a lot out of the conference. I'm so glad to hear. Hi, Eric. Hi, Ethan. Didn't get a chance to talk to you other than trivia chat, but the conference was great. Eric Broach, our trivia winner. We have a theory, Eric, within the IOCDF staff that we're partially convinced that you're a bot. So we don't really believe that, but you are almost inhuman in your trivia expertise. And actually, this is a good opportunity to announce this. We loved doing trivia, and we talked about how much fun it is, just like at the conference, that we'd love to do events that aren't necessarily OCD specific, but brings our community together. So in light of that, I will be announcing now, as opposed to later, that we will be hosting a trivia night once a month. Well, we will give away prizes. You guys can come on for an hour. Fran and I will host, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I think we're gonna start that at the end of August. We'll have our first trivia night, and we'll do it throughout the year. And then I was thinking about doing like a contest of champions, where we have all the trivia winners from that year come back for like some grand prize. I don't know. Anyway, brainstorming, but regardless, we had a great time. So I think we want to keep doing trivia. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So congratulations, Eric, on the trivia win. You were awesome, and hopefully you got some cool stuff from the store. Never tire of Ethan. Yvonne, I love you. Thank you for that. Thomas, yes. So, Mike, was that your first conference, Mike? Mike said it's my first conference. Workshops were so good. Possibly the virtual conference could be an option in the future in addition to the in-person. Absolutely, Mike. We absolutely know, COVID has been a really painful time for many people, a really difficult time to navigate. But there are these moments of silver linings. And one of the things that it has accomplished is it has really pushed ahead the speed at which we've been able to bring you virtual content, even just with these town halls. And we were doing Just Ethan before, but the town halls and all the topics and conversations. And so the IOCDF staff were absolutely incredible. I had some backstage, got to see what was going on behind the scenes. And seriously, they did an insanely incredible job to bring you the conference in 3 months and build it out. I know there were some glitches and tweaks, and the platform wasn't as easy to navigate for some, but they did a really remarkable job. I'm not just saying that because, I'm here. I'm saying that because they did. But Mike, completely agree with you. There are lots of conversations going on right now about how we can do maybe a mid-year in between the in-person conference, bring you a 1 or 2 day virtual conference, so we can offer that in the middle. But the floodgates are open now. So I think there's going to be a lot of conversation. I know there's going to be a lot of conversation coming up about what we're going to do in the future to bring you as much content, both virtually and in person. So good comment, Mike, for sure. Hi, Jody from the UK. I hope you're well. Natalie, for those of us that missed it, will the conference be somewhere online for us to view? We were out of town. Absolutely, Natalie. I don't know when. Well, so 2 things. If you registered for the conference but you didn't attend, then the content from the conference, so all of the sessions and all of the keynotes, everything but the live Q&As and the community discussion groups are available on demand for the next 2 weeks through the conference portal. So you can access all the content. So if you were there and you missed sessions that you really wanted to see, because there was so much good stuff, you can go on right now, click on demand. You'll see all of the sessions there, and you can watch anything you want for the next 2 weeks for free. At some point, Natalie, and I don't know exactly, they will make that on demand available to the public, where you can purchase the conference at some point, but I don't know the exact timing of that. So stay tuned, Natalie. And if you also want to email me just to keep in touch about that, we can definitely stay in touch and I'll let you know. Stacy Hirschman, great conference. Love the keynote speaker, Brandon Marshall. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you so much, Stacy. I really, really appreciate that. Oh, great point, Jess. Yes. Wait, tell Rachel. Tell Rachel? Oh, did Rachel ask a question down below? Okay, I'll get there. I'm sorry, Jess. I'm confused. 7-11. Okay, perfect. Sorry, every so often the comments adjust and I lose my place, so I apologize. But thank you, Stacy. Very, very sweet. Hello, Bonnie in Los Angeles. Valerie Andrews, my awesome, awesome friend. Hi, Valerie. I always give Valerie praise, but she really is an incredible human being, and I love knowing her. She's brought a lot to my life. Is Margaret here? I see. Hi, Margaret. Mike. Wish I could have attended. Again, Jody, hopefully the content will be available in the coming months. So we'll definitely keep you updated on that. Thomas wrote, everything, honestly, at least within the platform limitations, worked 100% for me. Had no trouble at all. I wish there was a way, though, to increase my trivia score. Listen, man, I got like 3 questions right. Eric is your guy. Eric, you might be able to start a IOCDF trivia training camp for other people if that's something you're interested in, just tossing out business ideas to you. Selwyn, hey Selwyn, good day to you too. Martin Ingle, being in Australia, it was a great opportunity to be there. Absolutely. We had 48 countries attend the conference this year. We had over 3,200 conference attendees. We are the International OCD Foundation. We love the access that this brought so many people, both geographically and socioeconomically, people that usually can't afford to go to the conference or live too far away, or just the timing wasn't right. So it was really synergistic, and really in person is amazing, but this really was a whole different entity, if you will. And thank you for bringing that up. We were so glad to see so many people from around the world join us and be able to be a part of the community. So Martin, thank you for that comment. I think, yes, there's still time to do evals. Jess, do you have a link to the evaluation page? I know they just sent an email maybe just yesterday about doing the surveys and evaluations. Agree, Yvonne. Yeah, the Zoom Q&A after each session could have been longer. I agree. I think when we planned the format, we weren't sure how many people were going to attend. There was a lot of question marks. So we wanted to be cognizant of everybody's time, but we definitely knew a lot of questions didn't be answered, and it was such a large turnout that we're so grateful for. So I feel the same way for sure. Lizzie Hine, I did feel a bit sad that the sessions were pre-recorded, but I get it. Yeah, no, I know. But there was the live Q&A afterwards, but it was by doing so. One of the logistical reasons we pre-recorded not only was because of schedule, but because if we didn't pre-record, we would have had to do live Zooms, and the live Zooms have a cap of people that you can have in a Zoom room. So for us to be able to pre-record them, then we could put them up, and anybody could watch, and there was no limitation on numbers. So we felt that was probably best, at least for this first one. Not a bot, I swear I wasn't cheating. No, I know you weren't cheating, Eric. You had just impressed us for sure. Let's see here. I love the idea of trivia. Dar wrote, it's an amazing conference with a lot of professional information, especially for international audience with no mental health services. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry, 1 second. We want to get the word out about access to treatment. That is why we advocate. That is why I advocate. It's a 3A thing for me. Affordable, accessible, and effective care, even though effective is not an A, but I still call it the 3 A's. It's very important for us to continue. It's a slow going process, but we're working tirelessly. Duran, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. To create as much mental health content as we can, and also create services and start to have and start to have as many services internationally as we can. In fact, I'm not sure where you are, but we can put a link to the global partners, the IOCDF global partners, where they have access to IOCDF global partners all around the world, and maybe we can help you access treatment as well. We'll give out my email and the IOCDF's email at the end. You can always email us too. We're always happy to help. Jason wrote, at Anxiety and OCD Treatment Center of Florida, can we have an all about Ethan trivia category? That's a no. Love the Nintendo music. That was all Fran. He did that. Trivia night was great. I'm so glad everybody enjoyed trivia. Dave wrote, the conference was great. If next year can be in person, I think it would be great too to maintain an online attendance option so people all over the world can participate more easily as they did this year. Absolutely. We've been looking at having virtual components to the in-person conference for a while, and I think this whole experience expedited doing that. The in-person experience is just, is just completely, it's one of a kind. You can't recreate it. But the virtual conference ended up just being its own entirely different, its own experience. It didn't even act as a replacement or almost as good as. It was really just a completely different experience, and it was really neat, and in some ways did some amazing things. So to the earlier point, we're looking at virtual content throughout the year, and potentially doing some sort of conference mid-year, but also adding the virtual component and some streaming at least to next year as well. But it will be in person. That's the goal. 2021 in New York. So stay tuned. Hi in Toronto, Anthony in Toronto. I'm going to start going a little quicker because I know lots of people have questions, but I really appreciate your comments, you guys. This is awesome. Again, if you're just joining us, this is a conference wrap-up. So comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, whatever your experiences were, we definitely want to hear about it so we can make things better for you, both virtual and in person. So please feel free to comment. If you want to email me privately, also, if you don't want your comment to be public, I'll give you emails at the end of the stream. Jody says, sorry if irrelevant, but just wanted a chance to say how much I love your OCD story with Stuart Ralph. Keep thinking of so many things you said, inspiring. I've been remembering the can of worms quote. Thank you, Jody. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Valerie wrote, although I enjoyed the conference, it just made me miss the in-person conference more. Definitely. I love seeing you guys for sure. I think for me, I think all it did was, in some ways, it highlighted sort of what was going on now, and it made that feel more real and palpable, which is kind of an awkward thing because things are dicey and tricky. And so it made that feel more real, which also made me miss the in-person conference. And at the same time, I thought it was really amazing and gave us so many new opportunities. Eric wrote, I like the flexibility of the format. When my schedule was double booked, I was just able to watch the sessions I missed on demand. Awesome. That was the idea. Alex, while there was a great access to the conference virtually, it limited ability to network with other attendees' thoughts. That's a great point, Alex. And we did professional networking, and I wonder, Jess, correct me if I'm wrong, but I wonder if we can do, we already talked about this. Sorry, not we now, but we can do attendee networking as well. We had the chat. The chats didn't quite work out. We thought they were good, but there was just so many of them. And we'd like to create, excuse me, breakout rooms and Zoom rooms where attendees can meet and talk face-to-face instead of just chatting. So totally agree with you. And I think that's definitely on the docket and plan as we move forward. So thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. We just adjusted. So hold, please, while I get back to where I was. Okay, perfect. Found my way. Nick Toth, it would have been nice to have all the slides available for download. The ones that available on the download were sparse. I can't remember everything, so it would have been very helpful to access to all of them. Okay, Nick, that's good to know. I can check and find out if Jess has a quick answer to all the slides being available for download. I actually didn't look at the download slides. I don't know, was I supposed to? So we'll make note of that for sure and get you an answer. Rachel Lindbergh, 90 was too much. Totally disappointed I missed it. I'm so sorry, Rachel. Oh, that's okay, Rachel. Yes. So we did offer a number of scholarships because it was virtual. I know after the fact it's like, but we gave away a lot of scholarships. I don't know if you were aware of that, but moving forward, definitely stay in touch. It's also worth noting if you're an IOCDF member, it was $75. That still may be too expensive, but there was a slight discount for IOCDF members. But the Peace of Mind Foundation gave away 100 scholarships. The IOCDF gave a number of scholarships away, and there were a lot of contests as well too. So this goes for everybody. I don't want to open up a can of worms, but the IOCDF's mission is to advocate and give important, necessary information on IOCD and support the community as much as possible. If it is too much or something is expensive, do not ever hesitate to email the IOCDF or me, and we will figure something out and find a way for you to access the content or treatment, whatever it is you need. We'll always do our best to help you where we can. So there were conference scholarships available, and there are also conference scholarships available for the in-person as well. So something to keep in mind, Rachel. And if you have additional questions or you may have some thoughts based on what I just said, please don't hesitate to email me, which I will give at the end of the session, and we can talk some more. But I'm sorry that happened, and hopefully we can get you the content. Pam, is there any way I could get access to the conference? I wasn't able to sign up. Again, for those of you that are asking about access, I know that it was recorded. There is an on-demand feature for those people that already registered. Though the content will, I think, we talked about having the content available in the coming months. So I don't know the details of that, and I don't think Jess does either. But I'm pretty certain the content will be available. Hey, Jess, do you want to shoot Jeff a text real quick? I don't know if he'll respond, but just ask him about that and what the plans are. Because a few people have asked. I don't want to give any wrong information out. I keep saying that because I know we talked about that at some point. But if you could, that'd be awesome. Hi, Nikki in Ireland. It's good to see you. I did like the Q&A Zooms after the actual presentation was over. They went so fast. I know they were short, but we'll like that. Maybe there could be a rolling mic personality in addition to the trivia. Open mic. That's a good idea too, Nancy. So something to consider. Maybe we can do that too. I love that idea. Just curious, are presentations from former years IOCDF conference available? Great question, Ellen. So the answer is no. Most of the keynotes are available from the conferences, but in the past, we haven't recorded the presentations due to privacy reasons, people asking questions and things like that. But again, we are looking at virtual components for this next year. But as of right now, no, there's no presentations currently recorded. Bonnie says, Ethan, still remember your most inspiring keynote talk at the 2014 IOCDF conference in LA. Thank you so much, Bonnie. I really appreciate it. Now, Nolan, if you do want to see that speech, which I highly recommend, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding. I mean, I do recommend it, but I'm kidding. I'm being snarky. If you Google Ethan Smith keynote into Google, and maybe Jess can find a link to it, you can watch my keynote from the 2014 IOCDF. Also, keynotes I think are available from the 2015 IOCDF. 2013 IOCDF, Charlotte Nicely's keynote. I know Chris Tronsden's and his mom is available from 2010, 11, or 12, as well as maybe some later keynotes. So you can definitely find the keynotes online. If you go to the IOCDF YouTube page, then you should be able to find any conference content from previous years on there. Excuse me. Wow, you guys are awesome. So many great comments. Sorry, Ethan, I'm getting too much lag in the video, driving me nuts. It's bad. I drove there years ago. Is everybody? Let me scroll down. Are you guys getting lag in this video, or is it? I'm gonna scroll down quickly. Are you guys able to see me, and am I clear and no lag, or is it? We're having some tech difficulties here. Just waiting to see if you guys say anything on thoughts or video fine here. Okay, thank you, Sally. I appreciate that. Yep, fine. I rebooted. All is good. No lag. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I just want to make sure you're not missing anything. Let me go back to where I was. I'm really enjoying this dialogue, so I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so great. So we're getting, I'm sure you've seen them in the comment thread, but if not, Jess has posted links to the eval. So for the evaluation question, go to the iocdf.org/evals, and you can fill out evals for the conference. Linda wrote, thank you. It was great. I learned so much. Thank you, Linda. We're glad you attended. Will the conference content be available? Hopefully we can find that out. I'm actually going to email. Let me just send a quick Sorry, I'm sending a quick text to Jeff to see if he'll answer. So I can get you guys an answer on the content. Content being available if you didn't register. Do you have details on that? Okay, just texted. We'll see if we get. I can't promise we'll get a definitive answer, but I just texted, so we'll find out if we get an answer. It would be great. Dave wrote, it would be great to have a small group Zoom room, 6 to 8 people for attendees to mingle. Exactly. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Totally agree, Dave. Totally agree. And I think that's on tap for future virtual conferences to have the Zoom rooms. It's just so chat's great, but it can get confusing and so many discussions and face-to-face. If you want to do face-to-face or turn the camera on is much better. Highness said the conference was amazing. I learned so much and had all these notes and ideas. Yes, I agree. Q&A would have been longer. Thank you. I'm so glad you had a good time. First session I joined almost had 400 people in it. It was pretty neat. There were lots and lots of people. Some of the panels had tons and tons of people. Hey Bree, the young adult track was awesome. Such a fun, caring group of individuals. I'm so glad you had a good experience, Bree. Nolan wrote, also I'm a mobile student. After the conference, feel really interested in moving to a city location that is really OCD positive, literate resource. What are the top OCD cities? What an interesting question, Nolan. That's a really interesting question. I will tell you, well, there's some, I probably would have answered that question completely differently before COVID. I think that, we're growing in terms of educated cities, in terms of OCD and mental health in general. I think the bigger metropolitan areas definitely have more OCD education. I mean, Boston is sort of the hub. That's where the IOCDF is, Mass General Hospital's there. So there's a lot of OCD education in Boston. San Francisco, Los Angeles has a lot of OCD education. Houston, Peace of Mind Foundation, Liz McIngvale, Houston IOCDF program is there. They've got, that's a very positive, but honestly, it's hard. I don't want to rule out. I think that we're constantly growing. The IOCDF has something called affiliates, where they're like mini IOCDFs within each state. And so the information is growing and growing and growing as far as understanding and accessibility to resources. And I will tell you, now, because everything is virtual, I think, Nolan, that there's opportunities to access, as you said, OCD positive, literate, and resources virtually. And if you want to email me later, I can definitely help direct you to some of those virtual places where you can potentially access treatment. And also, Nolan, hopefully I'll get to this, but and has COVID basically halted in-person support groups? That's your next question. But also curious where you live. To answer your question, yes, I don't know of any support groups that are meeting in person. I know there are a lot of Facebook groups online. I know Mike Sizemore, who's on here, started a Zoom group of his own, but there are lots of support group opportunities, both private groups on Facebook, Instagram channels, as well as a lot of clinicians are doing online Zoom and support groups for their clinics or areas and things like that. So again, Nolan, I'll give an email at the end if you want to hit me up. I'm happy to help you direct you into some of those support groups. I also know that Chrissy Hodges who's a peer support specialist, many of you probably know her. She just launched OCDpeers.com, which is literally peer-led support groups every day on a variety of topics and conversations. So if you email me, I can give you the website. I don't remember it offhand. I think it's OCDpeers.com. I'm not 100% certain, but they run support groups all week long. There's a small fee, but they're all professionally led, peer supported. So licensed peer support specialists are doing it. So definitely check that out because it's brand new. It just was up and running, and I think they're doing some really cool stuff. Nick wrote, pre-recorded worked out great. Let the presenters dial in their presentations, better content. Absolutely. Pam, is there a way to grant access to the lectures? I missed the registration. I'm looking into that, Pam. Hopefully I'll get a message from Jeff at some point. For those of you, so the question that everybody's asking is, can I get access to the content, the session content? The session content is on demand for those that already registered, is available for 2 weeks for free if you already registered. For those of you that want access to the session content, I'm trying to get you an answer before, a definitive answer before the 8 p.m. winds up. If not, I'm trying to think the best way to get you guys an answer in one fell swoop. But let's stay in the moment. Let's be mindful. Let's hope we get an answer now. And if not, well, we'll cross the no answer bridge when we get there. But don't let me forget. So stay tuned on that, Pam. Jess put a link to the global partners, the IOCDF. So if you're international, check out iocdf.org/about/global partners, and you can read all about who's doing what where internationally and connect. So that's awesome. Betsy wrote, wonderful conference considering the pandemic. Also, you and Fran were fun on Friday. Thank you so much, Betsy. Again, I'll have to reiterate that the IOCDF put this together in 3 months. And I think considering, they were doing 40 sessions with discussion groups a day, which is pretty amazing because there were 10 per block, so 40. In addition to all the other exhibit halls and things like that, I think they did an amazing job. Whitney wrote, my first conference, so thankful to now have a community, so much information. Thanks for mentioning the post-conference slump. I think my brain was so exhausted. Absolutely, Whitney. The in-person conference, there's a big sort of low afterwards, all the excitement building up for the conference. And then, and you have this amazing community, which we had here virtually for sure. But, in the person, you have this amazing community and you meet friends and amazing people. And you leave and you go, oh my God, what now? So this is a great opportunity to sort of dive into a little bit of, how to work through if you felt very supported this weekend. And now you feel a little alone or lonely or sort of like, where do I go from here? There's a few things that I'm happy to point out. First of all, there's great support on social media. And I want to be mindful when I use the word support. Social media is not a place for professional support. However, there are professionals that run their own Instagram and Facebook, mostly Instagram channels, right? Where they offer thoughts and tips and suggestions. It is not therapy. They'll caveat that by saying it is not therapy. But there's some great channels. Oh my gosh, I too, my brain is a little slow, Whitney, so I feel you. But Kim Quinlan on IOCDF is a great person to follow. She's incredible. She presented a ton. So definitely check out Kim Quinlan's Instagram channel. Pure O Chrissy is another great one. Chris Bear, who Unstuck Kids is a great one for kids. There's literally so many, and I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, which isn't helpful to you right now, so I apologize. If you email me, Whitney, again, I'll give you the email at the end. I can give you a list, but also, so let's talk about it. So social media is one way to stay connected. Facebook groups is another great way to stay connected. Health Unlocked, which Jess will put a link to, is the IOCDF's online OCD community where individuals with OCD can get together and talk. There's lots of comment threads. It's basically like a Facebook private group, but on a different platform. That's a great place. And OCD, which is an online community and app, and they also do virtual teletherapy in a variety of states where they're licensed, also has a very robust community. I think over 200,000 individuals with OCD and related disorders that are there, and also have a chat feature. You get a news feed, so if you want to check out NoCD, it's NOCD. It's in the Apple App Store and Google Play. It's free to download. The community is free. You can also inquire about teletherapy services and see if they're available in your area. And as I said, Chrissy Hodges is doing peer support. So support groups is another way. Also don't hesitate to reach out, and we can put you in contact with people. If you met people and traded emails, that's a great way to stay connected. If you're in treatment or therapy, if you need treatment or therapy, you'll want to check out the resource directory guide at the IOCDF and look for therapy in your area. It's also a good point, a good time to mention that, everything is still virtual. So if you live in a place where therapy isn't readily available, but there is therapy in your state, take advantage of the fact that every therapist is virtual right now. So all you need is a therapist in your state to be able to legally treat you. So if you live rurally or not near a big city, but there's therapists in the city that are 3-4 hours away, it's a great opportunity to make connections. If you're worried about starting therapy virtually, they will all tell you that it's never too late. It's never too early to start therapy, that online therapy is as effective, if not more effective than online. That is their opinion. There's not enough data to support that, but so many people agree because you get to do treatment and exposure response prevention in your home and where you are, and typically where you're triggered, which can be very, very beneficial. versus going in somewhere where maybe you feel a little reassurance, a little safety. And I know I do. When I go to my psychologist, I feel a little bit safer in her place. So therapy can be very, very effective online, virtually. So let's see, we have support groups, we have individuals, we have Facebook, Instagram, we have the affiliates, we have advocacy. You can email us and get involved with OCD Advocates program, the Ambassador program. We have OCD Awareness Week coming up. So if you're in the post-conference slump, try not to isolate. Try to access online support. So whether it's NoCD, whether it's Peace of Mind's OCDchallenge.com, which has tons of videos and OCD ERP support. There's such great online content. So don't be afraid to access it. Don't be afraid to reach out. One thing about our community, and I know you'll all agree, is that I haven't met any non-amazing people. Is that even a thing? Everyone in our community is absolutely amazing and so giving and so generous, and so kind, and they all want to advocate no matter where we are in our process, Whitney. And so and even here, I'm sure I haven't read the comment thread, but if you want to, who wants to connect online or on Facebook and talk more, this is a great opportunity to connect with other like-minded people and see if you can make some connections. So, and that goes for all of you. So hopefully that helped. Nolan, and if so, is it possible to access Zoom support groups in other cities? For instance, I live in a small town because Boston support groups might be online. Can I attend them? So I think I just answered that question. And don't be afraid. Listen, we have to advocate for ourselves, and I'm all about. So many of us in this community advocate for other people. That's what we do. As Liz always says, we want to be a voice for the voiceless. That's her line, not mine. I steal most people's information, but I don't steal Liz's because she can beat me up. So I leave that alone. With that in mind, though, if you're not in a major city and you need a support group, and there's a big clinic in the city near you, call them. Leave a message and say, do you have a support group and can I be a part of it? I live 4 hours away. I can't, but I would love to be a part of the support group. I'm struggling and can use the peer support. If you can, try to get a little bit outside of your comfort zone. There's no harm in asking. The worst they say is no, but the best thing is you have weekly support. And it's a great way to start. So I wouldn't hesitate to reach out to a clinic or an individual in the area that's closest to you and see if there's something available. Darren, you helped a lot with linking us to teletherapy therapists. Big thank you. Well, thank you. All right. So I was about to do to the hurricane. If the stream cuts out, we'll be right. Okay. Apparently in Boston, there's a hurricane. I need to watch the news. There's a hurricane in Boston. So thank you, Jess. I think she's having some cutouts and things like that. Stacy Hirschman would love to help with the resource piece. I would love to help to connect individuals to treatment options. Thank you, Stacy. So see, as I just said, our community is amazing and we all like to advocate for each other. So Stacy Hirschman, she probably comments later on, but she would love to help with connecting individuals with treatment options. I like to do that too. The IOCDF loves to do that too. Peace of Mind as well. There's lots of amazing nonprofits that will do that. So please, 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 if you need treatment, if you need to access treatment, if you're having trouble finding treatment, go to the IOCDF website, go to Peace of Mind. Don't hesitate to email us. Stacy's offered her as well to help. Just put yourself out there and people will help you. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. So thank you, Stacy. Really appreciate that. Let's see here. Shame I missed the conference. Sorry, I am going a little slow, so I'm going to try to get to everybody's questions. Kathy says, hey, Ethan, I can offer a different opinion on the pre-recorded presentations. I really liked the ability to talk to the presenters live while the presentation was happening. It also reduced the likelihood for tech glitches via Zoom. Really grateful for all the work that was done. Thank you so much. Great points, Katie. Did I just call you Kathy? Anyway, I apologize. That's a great point, Katie. Yeah, I know that before my panel, while my panel was on, I was chatting with people, and that was a great opportunity that we could chat. And it absolutely cutouts, dropouts. I know when we do these live town halls, we have tech difficulties all the time. But I think it definitely made for a more consistent experience in terms of the session. So thank you. Yeah. Yes, Zoom chat would have been better. It was also hard to tell whether someone spoke 5 minutes or hours ago. Right, Eric, thank you. So as Eric wrote, he basically saying that the chats weren't time-stamped. I think that's what I had that same thing. I wondered when somebody wrote that comment and whether they were even still on the chat or not. So I would like to see people's comments timestamped so you knew where it came from. Great point. Me too. Renee wrote, not sure who came up with the t-shirt, embrace uncertainty this year on the IOCDF page, but love it. I don't know if Jess said she's having tech difficulties, so I don't know if she can hear me. So we did a t-shirt contest for this year, a logo t-shirt contest for a tagline, and I don't know the person who won, but that was the winning design for a shirt. Jess, who won the t-shirt contest? The design contest. If you want to just private chat it to me, I'll say it out loud. Let's see here. Will the pre-recorded sessions be available beyond the 2 weeks? I'm on that, Barbara, trying to find out about that. So according to Jess, the slogan contest was a 3-way tie. So I guess 3 people thought of embrace uncertainty. But regardless, it was a 3-way tie. But yeah, I liked it too. It was a contest for sure. Looking into if I can find out. I'm trying to. Jess, do you have any ideas of how we can? I tell you what we're going to do. This makes the most sense, I think. And I'll obviously confer with the IOCDF because I don't make the rules. But when we get an answer, Jess, I'll throw this out, and you can private chat me and tell me to shut up. But when we find out if and when the content from the conference will be available, yeah, thank you, Jess. I appreciate it. If we don't hear at the end of tonight, let's just do a social media post about it. And I think that's the best way to let everyone know simultaneously. Yeah, I agree. So what was discussed before? What was discussed before was that the content will be available. Not sure when. There will be a small fee to access it. I don't know how much that will be. But I think when we get the details, I think doing a social media post letting you all know when the content will be available, how much it'll cost, and all of those things will be the most expeditious way to give everyone the same answer as quickly as possible. So that's what we'll plan on. But of course, you can always email me, and I will keep you up to date as well. But we'll try to keep you up to date via social or an email blast as soon as we have that information. Honestly, they are, hopefully they don't mind me saying, they're exhausted. The IOCDF staff, to run 10 groups 4 times a day, they are all fried and exhausted and all decompressing or asleep. So Jess has taken time out of her rest day to help me tonight, which I'm grateful for. But they're all toasted. So but we'll get that answer for you. Let's see here. So let me keep going. Yeah, more questions about the conference availability. Definitely touch on that. Also, is it possible to download the video presentations onto my laptop versus watching them online? I don't think download is available. Nolan, I thought that same thing too. I don't think that the content is available for download. It may be in the future. To my understanding, though, I think you have to watch it online. And you watched my keynote in treatment. That's awesome, Nolan. I appreciate that. Where did you get treatment, if you don't mind me asking? Just put a link to keynote. All right, I'm running exactly 20 minutes behind on comments. So let me expedite and see if anybody has any important questions. Let's see here. Tina wrote, "Hey Ethan, speaking of advocacy, Kaiser has not held OCD group since SIP. Do you think there's anything the IOCDF could do?" I'm not familiar with Kaiser. Kaiser, the hospital, Kaiser, and they had OCD groups. But in terms of support groups, if you definitely want to email me, we've been talking a lot about accessing OCD, held OCD group. Is that a pay service or is that a free? Tina, give me more information on what you're talking about in terms of Kaiser, and if you're not still on or if you're below and I don't get to it, email me about it and we can talk further about it for sure. Thank you, Joe. Glad you enjoyed the conference. All right, let's keep going here. I'll see if I can. Aaron, is it Aaron? I love that spelling, E-I-R-Y-N. What a great name, Aaron. I'm going to call you Aaron, and you can correct me. I love the conference. It was incredibly helpful and validating. Can't wait for next year. Please make it more accessible to multiple disabilities next year. I struggle to follow without closed captioning, and so many people need CC to participate. That's huge. Absolutely. That's a great point. I don't know, Jeff. I'm assuming closed caption wasn't available, Jess. First of all, I'm so glad you love the conference. So thank you for coming, and I appreciate it. I know that we put this up very quickly, but I think that's a huge suggestion, and you're absolutely correct. And so anything we do in the future, and including these town halls, we should probably incorporate a closed caption feature. So thank you, Aaron, for that. And we totally disagree. So we should look into that. We should look into if there's any other disabilities we can accommodate in terms of these conferences. So thank you, Aaron. Great suggestion. And I'm glad you loved it. So, oh, okay. Got an answer. Okay. If you're still on, we have word from Jeff, the executive director. Actually, I just got a text too. Okay. He wrote, yes, the pre-recorded workshops will be available for purchase in a couple weeks. We will send an email. So there you go. That's the official word from the chief, that the sessions will be available in a couple weeks for purchase. He does not list how much they will be. I don't want to comment on that. I don't think they would be more than the conference. I would imagine it would be less. So he will send an email out. So they will be available. Stay tuned. Hopefully they'll be available in just a couple weeks. So there you go. Ashley wrote, I didn't think I'd get to join a conference anytime soon, so this was an awesome opportunity, and I was so pleased to get to finally go after dreaming of it for so long. Thanks to all who put this together. It was a fully functional and informative program. I was very happy. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you so much. That's awesome to hear, and that was the intent. So glad you had a great time. Will you ever invite Maria Bamford to a town hall, or maybe just Ethan Maria night? Lizzie, you're a genius. I'm gonna screen cap that. That's a great idea. I think we should do. I'm all about that. I think we should do a Maria Bamford, Ethan, just Ethan, and Lizzie. You'll have to be a special guest for sure, because that's a genius idea. Aaron Thomas, oh, okay. You're just filling in. Thank you. Nick Toth, yes. Chrissy Hodges support group is OCD Peers. So if you want to check it out, Chrissy sessions are great. I've done 2 of them. Thank you, Marty. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's keep going. We're catching up here a little bit. Tina, what was the name of the company that has the peer support groups? That's the OCD Peers. Tina, if you look just above your comment from 7:30 p.m., Rich, thank you, Rich, put a link to the website. Linda wrote, I was happy to be a part of the first ever OCD conference. We were very, very happy to have you, Linda. So thank you. Nancy wrote, wondering if even now attendees could share contact information. Chat and Q&A were fleeting. I mean, yeah, I don't know if the chat is still available. I mean, I know it's up. I don't know if it's still accessible, but absolutely share as you feel comfortable. If you want to share contact information, absolutely. B wrote, I remember that feeling after last year. Maybe a blessing of COVID-19 is all the online content and many live opportunities. Yeah, there are many silver linings. This is definitely a difficult situation to navigate, but there are silver linings, and I think this experience was one of them. So thank you for being part of our silver lining. Carrie, first-time attendee at the conference. It was such an incredible experience and amazing to find others online for peer support. Keep it up, IOCDF. Thank you so much, Carrie. I appreciate that so much. Yes, thank you, Marissa. John Hirschfield's Instagram is great. OCD Baltimore. I appreciate that. I couldn't think of John Hirschfield. Also, his books are awesome too. He's a frequent guest. I love you guys. Marissa, Dr. Liz OCD. That's Liz McInvale's Instagram handle. That's a great one. Marissa, thank you. Because I was totally drawing a blank on all the IOCD, all the good. Oh my God, Not Alone Notes, Morgan and Molly. They send cards. They have great content. They have a coloring book. I highly recommend Not Alone Notes Instagram. I had thought of 3 just now, and I literally forgot. Who else am I? OCD Cafe is great. The T on OCD is great. OCD Illustrated is great. Obsessively Ever After. Sorry, Obsessively Ever OCD. Oh my God, what's Allegra's thing? Anyway, Obsessively Ever After is fantastic. Mind on Fire is great. I know I'm saying these fast, but yeah, there's lots of good stuff. Danielle wrote, for next year, maybe create a master contact list for those open to sharing their contact info or online blog, peer support group, or organization. It could be a Google Doc for people. That's a great idea, Danielle. I like that. I think that's a great idea, and even incorporate that with the Zoom networking and things like that. So people who want to share and trade and connect, because that is, I would say, I don't know if you all agree, but I think one of the biggest amazing components of the in-person conference is the peer-to-peer contact and support. You make lifelong friends. And while I think that was possible in this particular conference, the chat was a little bit more confusing than we thought it would be. And so I think that's a great idea. And I also think the Zoom breakout sessions where you can actually really connect with people one-on-one is a good idea. Tina wrote, OCD Awareness Week, count me in. How can I help? Email me and I'll give you some ideas. We're already planning OCD Awareness Week. We're already talking about all kinds of good content coming up. So do the chat rooms on the conference website still work? That's what I was wondering. They're still up. I guess you can still comment on the chat. I don't know if there's still people there. I'm in Connecticut with no power. Okay. Oh, because it went up the coast. I get how hurricanes work. Sorry. Stacy, I believe only the recorded sessions are on demand. There are a lot of FB supports like that as a support. Thank you, Stacy. Yeah. The recorded, just adjusted. I hate when it does that. Apologies. I have to find my way back to where I was. Where was I? Stacy Conroy. Apologies. Sorry, kill time. I need like a video of me tap dancing just so I can. Okay, here we go. Just join Health Unlocked. Thank you for the link, Yvonne. That's awesome. You'll enjoy it for sure. Darren wrote, would be also a good idea for the future to create parent support groups and parents. I'm pretty certain we had a whole. We had a pretty large parent parent support group. I know we had a lot of parent content. I'm sure that we had a couple parent support groups, but completely agree. That's always a very important. Parents, siblings, caregivers, everything is very important. So I agree with you. Natalie wrote, I have contamination health OCD. If anyone on here knows of a good support group, let me read this slower because she's asking for something. I have a contamination health OCD. If anyone on here knows of a good support group online for that, please post or feel free to reach out to me on here through messages. So that's at 7:40 p.m. Natalie Carnes-Tilley asked the question about contamination health OCD support if people want to hit her up. And also, thank you, Jess. I forgot we could do that. And also, Natalie, you can look into Health Unlocked and also the NoCD app, and you can start your own threads about that. And there's lots of people that will be able to connect with you on that. Let's see here. The ICF knocked it out of the park. Thank you, Ethan. Ash wrote, do you typically find that OCD causes anxiety or anxiety causes OCD? I have both, and panic attacks and my obsessive thoughts about health are never ending. So OCD is considered an anxiety disorder. And there's been some debate about that in the most recent DSM about its categorization. But as of right now, if you Google OCD, it will say it's an anxiety disorder. I will say that for the most part, anxiety typically accompanies OCD. I have both. I have general anxiety disorder, panic attacks, and OCD. But they all cross over, obviously, when you have some sort of intrusive thought or concerning thought, health or whatever, you're going to have anxiety, and that's going to spike. Typically, that is part of the OCD itself, but it all crosses over and interlaps. So it's probably a chicken or an egg thing. There are a lot of people that do have just OCD and don't have an anxiety disorder, meaning don't have other panic or anxiety outside of their OCD symptomatology. So that does exist, but for the most part, OCD thoughts, intrusive thoughts, that's what causes the anxiety, which then causes the feelings, which then causes us to compulse to reduce the anxiety. But I will say that, if you do have OCD and an anxiety and other anxiety disorders, that sure, anxiety can cause OCD. If you get nervous about something, that causes thoughts, which then cause the feelings, which then cause the anxiety, and it fully loops. So I would say yes to both, all of the above. Kaiser OCD groups meeting through Zoom in Northern California. Oh, thank you, Valerie. So to whoever was asking about the Kaiser groups, they're apparently being hosted in Northern California. Maybe if you guys want to message Valerie, I know she'd be happy to answer any of the Kaiser questions on their OCD group meetings. Hi, Lisa Coyne. I'm going to give Lisa Coyne a shout out. I don't know if she's still here, but if you are a teen or a parent and looking for a good book on acceptance commitment therapy and OCD, Stuff That's Loud is absolutely brilliant. Came out in May, written by Lisa and Ben Sedley. Lisa is one of the founders of the OCD, the IOCD. Wow, the OCDI kids in Massachusetts, and all around genius with acceptance commitment therapy. I highly, highly recommend Stuff That's Loud if you're a parent or even a teenager, or you want to learn more about acceptance commitment therapy as it relates to teens with OCD. It is dope. Do people still say dope? Am I supposed to say something else? Let me know. If I know fi is a word now, is it fi or lit or burnt? No, burnt is definitely not. I'm just going to keep reading here. Let's see here. Let me see. We have 4 minutes. Let me see if I can get to any other pressing questions. We just updated here. Yes, obsessively ever after. Okay, thank you. I knew I wasn't. I knew I was. OCD is like anxiety on steroids. That's a great way to look at it, you know, because you know, anxiety usually is accompanied with a thought, a catastrophic thought, a black and white thought, an extreme thought, elimination, the constant loop of the thought, which constantly triggers the anxiety and so forth. So absolutely, Marissa, totally agree with you. Jane wrote, it was my first conference and I was extremely satisfied. Thank you, Jane. Ash wrote, Thomas makes great sense. That crazy how much sense that made. Wait, did I miss what Thomas said? I definitely feel that one feeds the other, and anxiety definitely has a good place in standard mental health, but sometimes it's not used correctly. Okay, gotcha. Yes, thank you, Betsy. Podcasts are another great resource for support post-conference. She wrote the OCD stories. Stuart Ralph. I don't know why I forgot that since I presented with him 2 days ago. Check out the OCD stories. Also, Kim Quinlan's podcast, Your Anxiety Toolkit, is awesome. Also, Kim Quinlan's cbt2school.com is phenomenal, and she also has a CBT School Facebook group, which is also really helpful. You can check out; those are all online support as well. Okay, let's see here. Oh my gosh, turned. That's right. I was thinking. You know what? It's burnt. I'm gonna say, yo, that is so burnt. That's burnt. It's like lit or fire, but it was burnt. I'm tired, and that's all I got. It is 7:58 p.m. I think actually I made it through all the questions and comments. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I loved this discussion. I love all of you. If I missed a question, if I missed a comment, if you want to tell me more, don't hesitate to email me. My email is justethan@iocdf.org. Please don't hesitate to email me. That is my email address if you want to reach out to me directly. I'll leave it up for a second so everybody can write it down. Also, if you want to email the foundation, please don't hesitate. You can always email the foundation at info@iocdf.org. It is scrolling at the, wow, 2 email addresses, 1 video. We're on the cusp of technical magnificence here. Just some quick housekeeping. Oh, but I was praising you all. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the responses. I'm so glad. And thank you for the constructive criticism. I'm so glad it meant a lot to you, as much as I'm glad it meant as much to you as it did to us. I'm glad that we could pull it together and everybody got so much out of it. We learned a lot. We continue to learn about our community and what you need from us and what we need from you, and that it's a symbiotic relationship and it's synergistic, and we are all here for each other. So, and I'm going to read real quick. Sessions focusing on cultural competency trainings and understanding should be CE or CME credits. That's a great. Hey, Jess, if you want to, at 7:59 p.m., that's a great point, Danielle. If you want to grab that and maybe send it to Steph or Jeff, and just so you know, our diversity initiative we've lit a fire. We're working very, very hard on all of that. But from a professional standpoint, I think that's absolutely necessary. So great point, Danielle. Sorry, I was in the middle of thanking you. I know I talked to a ton of people this weekend. It really meant the world to me to see everybody face to face, even though virtually, and connect with everybody. So thank you for this. Let me go over some quick stuff. Currently updating. We were in conference mode for a month, so we're currently updating all of our programming. We will have a town hall next week, and the following weeks, I don't know specifically what we'll be doing next week, but we will have one on Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's going to be a 50 plus, so a support town hall for those that are 50 and over that have been dealing with OCD most of their lives. So thank you, Valerie and Betsy, for suggesting that. We are in the process of building that out. I can tell you that people have been asking for this. We've got you scheduled on August 20th. We'll be having religious scrupulosity as a town hall. We are currently getting the guests together as we speak. So mark your calendars for August 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern. We will be starting our religious scrupulosity volume 1. There you have it. Thank you all so much for the kind comments and love to me and everybody at the IOCDF. It really means the world to me. As always, I want to thank the IOCDF and, of course, my partner behind the scenes on this, Jess, for doing all her digital magic. Yeah, I agree, Nikki. 50 plus is really important. I need to update this document. Again, we have an answer. The conference content will be available starting in 2 weeks. You'll get an email update on that. So never fear if you did miss the conference. The sessions will be available in the very, 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 very near future. If you haven't already and you want to be notified about all the programming the IOCDF is having over the next month, definitely be sure to subscribe and follow on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit. I don't know where else we are, but you'll be notified as we go. You can check out the online calendar on the IOCDF website for upcoming content and live streams, which I just talked about updating. So thank you, Michelle, for keep up the great work. I appreciate all your work as well. Just the last thing I want to say is we're getting into a school year here. Things are changing. Schedules are changing. We're still in the midst of combating COVID-19. We're still in the midst of talking about race, social injustice, inequity, all of those things. But on top of that, school is starting, life is ramping back up. There's so many unknowns. I want you to know that myself and the IOCDF, we are here with you. We are here to support you. And so as things continue to play out over the next month, please know that we are here. We are open to suggestions, comments, topics, anything that you need. We'll do our best to accommodate you. We really, really will. We work very hard to give you what you want, and it's very meaningful to us to do so. Yes, Deirdre. So 2 weeks from tonight, another Just Ethan. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. Stay vigilant. Feel the feels. Do not let OCD off the hook. And we'll see you 2 weeks from tonight. Have a good night. Thank you.